The power went out at 9:47 p.m. The sudden silence was more jarring than the darkness itself. The humming refrigerator, the ticking wall clock, the distant blare of televisions, all gone. The apartment complex on Sycamore Street stood in a hush, swallowed in a thick blackout during the first truly cold night of the season. Maya Kim, 27, stared out her fourth-floor window, watching as the last flicker of the streetlight died. The world outside looked like someone had painted black over a living city. No headlights. No traffic. No stars. She fumbled for her phone. 14% battery. A moment later, someone knocked. It was Mr. Donnelly from next door, an older man who lived alone since his wife passed. He held a flashlight that flickered with low batteries and wore a tattered scarf over his coat. "Some of the neighbors are heading to the common room downstairs," he said. "Figured we might as well ride this out together." Maya hesitated, then nodded. Being alone felt worse tonight. The common room was dim, lit by candles and a few battery-powered lanterns. It smelled faintly of dust and something metallic, probably from old pipes and damp walls. 8 people had gathered so far. Maya, Mr. Donnelly, a couple in their 30s, Clara and Josh, 2 teenage brothers, Aaron and Liam, Mrs. Valdez, a middle-aged woman from the second floor, and a young woman Maya didn't recognize. The young woman sat cross-legged on the floor, hood pulled over her head, face cast in candle shadow. Her hair was black, straight, just barely visible beneath the hood. She was quiet. Not suspicious, just quiet. Maya looked at her curiously. "Hi, I'm Maya. I don't think we've met. You just move in?" The woman paused, then nodded slowly. "Yeah. Unit 2D. Mrs. Valdez frowned. "That can't be right. 2D's been empty since March." The woman smiled faintly. "Landlord just gave me the keys yesterday. I'm still moving stuff in." Nobody said much after that. Maybe it was the darkness. Maybe it was the way her voice didn't quite match her lips. The hours passed slowly. They shared snacks, wrapped in blankets, trading blackout stories and phone batteries. Someone mentioned how odd it was that no emergency crews had shown up. No sirens. No generators. Aaron, the younger teen, kept glancing toward the hooded woman. At one point, he whispered to his brother, "Didn't she say her name was Lila?" "No," Liam said. "She didn't say anything." "Are you sure?" "I swear I heard her whisper it to me." At midnight, Clara noticed something strange. She looked around and murmured, "Weren't there only 8 of us?" Everyone paused. Counted. 9. 9 people. But they couldn't figure out who the extra was. Everyone named themselves out loud, one by one. Maya, Donnelly, Claire, Josh, Aaron, Liam, Mrs. Valdez, the girl from 2D. 8 names. 9 people. Josh laughed nervously. Maybe one of us forgot to count themselves. But Maya wasn't laughing. She stood, slowly walking to each face in the room, her mind trying to place them. Something itched in her memory. Then it struck her. The hooded woman now sat on the couch. She wasn't there before. Earlier she'd been on the floor, cross-legged, head bowed. No one had seen her move. And now her hair, it looked curly like Clara's. They played it off, but unease spread like mold. A few minutes later, Mr. Donnelly got up to use the restroom down the hall. He never came back. Maybe he got lost? Clara said, but she sounded doubtful. "We're in an apartment building," Maya whispered. "There's nowhere to get lost." Aaron went to check. When he came back, his face was pale. "There's no one out there," he said. But the hallway smelled like something was burning. At 2:12 a.m., the group huddled in tense silence. The hooded woman hadn't spoken since her first answer. She now looked like Mrs. Valdez, same sweater, same hairstyle. Yet Mrs. Valdez sat across from her, trembling. Maya finally asked, "What's your name again?" The woman didn't answer. Her head tilted. Maya's heart pounded. "What's your name?" The figure stood. The candles dimmed. Her voice came, not from her mouth but from somewhere deeper. "I am whatever's missing." Then she blinked, and when her eyes opened she looked like Maya. Perfectly. Clara screamed. Josh grabbed a chair and hurled it, but it passed through the woman like mist. Her form flickered. Maya, then Aaron, then Mr. Donnelly, whose voice she used to say, "Why did you leave me in the dark?" Suddenly the lights came on. Fluorescent glare filled the room. She was gone. 8 people remained. No one ever found Mr. Donnelly. Later, police swept the building. The security camera footage during the blackout? Static. Except one camera which caught a single flickering frame. 8 neighbors sitting in the common room. And behind them, in the darkest corner, a figure with no face, just a shadow wearing their skin. To this day, Unit 2D remains empty. But sometimes, when the power flickers at night, residents say they hear someone walking the halls, whispering in familiar voices, calling out your name. At first, Nurse Eliza Hayes thought it was just another flicker. Hospitals had backup systems, emergency generators, batteries, protocols. But when the power cut out completely at 11:14 p.m. on that storm-ridden night, the usual comforting hum of life support, air conditioning, and hallway lights died with it. The monitors fell silent, ventilators clicked off, and even the glow from digital clocks vanished. Then came the silence, the oppressive kind. Eliza's heart skipped a beat. She reached for her walkie, but the radio buzzed only static. She tried her phone, no signal. No bars. No anything. She peeked out the ICU room door. The hallway, once sterile and brightly lit, now stretched into a black void. Only the red glow of the exit sign flickered faintly like it was struggling to survive. She turned back to her patient. Milo Jensen, 6 years old, comatose after a seizure storm, breathing on a ventilator. Heart stabilized, but only with machines. Machines that were now dead. "Come on," Eliza muttered, rushing to the emergency drawer. She connected a portable battery unit to the ventilator. The screen blinked to life. Relief washed over her as the boy's chest rose again, shaky but steady. But then she noticed something strange. The battery meter dropped from 100% to 93%, then 87%, 81%, in seconds. "What the hell?" she whispered. And then, something in the corner buzzed. Like TV static. But there was no TV. Eliza grabbed a flashlight from the drawer and pushed open the ICU door. The beam cut a tunnel of vision through the corridor, but the light seemed wrong. Dimmer than it should be. As if the darkness itself was swallowing it. She walked toward the nurse's station. Every step echoed too loud. Like she was the only one in the building. She called out, "Dr. Aiden? Anyone?" Nothing. Her light flicked. Once. Twice. And then came the noise. A whispering hiss. Like wind but thicker. Coming from the vents? The walls? No. From behind her. She turned. No one there. But the battery-powered hallway monitor behind her, one that shouldn't be on, blinked to life for a moment. Then fuzzed into a wash of gray static. Then shut off completely. Back at Milo's side, she found the ventilator blinking red. Battery drained. Completely. Impossible. That unit was supposed to last at least 2 hours. It had been 10 minutes. She connected the second portable pack. It dropped from 100% to 60% in under a minute. And that's when she saw it. A shape, flickering like a shadow made of electricity, briefly flickered in the glass pane of the ICU door. It had no face, just a distorted blur like a bad signal on a broken screen. Its edges rippled like it wasn't made of flesh or bone but energy. Static and light. It moved not by walking but by skipping. Like frames missing in a video. 1 second at the door. The next near the bed. Eliza spun around. Nothing. Just empty air. She grabbed the last 2 portable batteries from the crash cart. Hooked one in. But the creature returned, closer now, behind her reflection in the window. Its body flickered with symbols. Digits. Morse code. No binary. It wasn't just made of static. It was feeding on it. On energy. Power. Life. Eliza tore the battery off, trying to confuse it. The monitor flickered and the thing paused. Staggered. As if momentarily weakened. She remembered something. The old nurse's tale. Rumors from war zones. About power leeches, unseen entities that fed on light, static, and nervous systems. Spirits born from electromagnetic pulses, haunting hospitals and bunkers during blackouts. She didn't believe them. Until now. With no one left to help, Eliza tried one last thing. She plugged the final battery into herself, her personal heart monitor, letting it hum a faint line across the screen. The creature appeared instantly. At the far end of the corridor. Then halfway down. Then inches from her. Its voice came not as sound but through the machines, a whisper on the heart monitor. "The child is empty. You are full." She backed away. "No. So much life, so much warmth. The lights flickered, briefly, then surged. The hospital's backup power kicked in. Overhead fluorescence roared to life. And with a screech like 1,000 televisions being smashed, the creature dissolved, bursting into a cloud of crackling mist. Gone. When morning came, the government confirmed it was a nationwide grid failure. Most hospitals lost power. Many patients died. But not Milo. Not in Eliza's room. She didn't tell anyone about the things she saw. She just transferred hospitals. Refused to work night shifts. But sometimes when she walked past a quiet monitor and saw it flicker just once, she wondered if it was still hungry. In a dark hospital in another city, another nurse connects a new battery to a child's life support. A red light flickers. And on the screen, 011011101. More in binary.